Welcome to my live stream. Alrighty, okay. We've landed on Minmus and we've orbited Minmus and come back okay. It took me two attempts to get that to work, but I got it to work. Had some strange technical problems. Now the next step is to land on Minmus, and I promised a little bit of a surprise on this one, but you've I'm sure a lot of people already guessed what the surprise is. Let's just check because I saved. Switch that one back on. Oh yeah, I left some debris around. Nice, ugly stuff. Upsets the space dolphins. Just get rid of it. All right, that's good. Yeah, all right, let's just just see if there's any contracts popped up yet. Now that we've unlocked Minmus and got the milestone. Of doing various things around Minmus. See if there's any Minmus contracts for us. Probably stuff that I can't really do yet, like recoveries from around Minmus. No, I'm not quite up for that yet. Oh, that's you got to find particular areas. No, I'm not going to do that. All right, okay, we're not going to earn much science on this run, unfortunately. It's just it's a matter of making progress on the script, even if I don't earn much science at this point. Just have a quick look at my my rocket. I think it's fine for now. I've got all delta V figures written down. But I think it's real good. I think it's good. Yeah, all right. I think it's okay. Well, let's just modify the script first that we're going to use tonight. Now, because I want to just set a baseline, I'll set a baseline of orbiting Minmus, and then I can use that to test my new scripts from there, so we don't have to run the launch all over again. So I'll just go orbit moon from flyby. I'll just comment this bit out, just leave it, not do the return. Right, so now I have to change that back to Rails. Physics is way too slow for Minmus. We'd be here for several days, literally. Earth days, our days. I'll switch that one back off because we don't need him. I use that on my my cinematic series. It didn't quite work out the way I expected, but it was, well, you know, hey, you don't get it all right the first time. I'm working on it. Be bigger and better things in my future. Really, we don't need 10. We don't need 15. And you see that this flyby orbit return, I've actually parameterized it, so I can just type in the name of the moon that I want now, and it will work. So I don't have separate functions for different planets. Well, the thing is, there's only 2 moons that we need worrying about right now. There's other moons in the system, but I don't know what their configuration is like. So I'm only worried about the 2 moons of Kerbal, which is the Mun and Minmus. So the procedure I've written is generic enough to handle both of them with just a parameter change. That's all good. So we set that back to Minmus again. Now, the reason I want to land on Minmus before I land on the Mun is because Minmus is just more forgiving. The Mun is actually quite challenging. So even Scott Manley recommends that you go to Minmus before you land on Minmus before you land on the Mun. That makes sense. Now I was going to tweak a parameter here. I hope I don't shoot myself in the foot. Now I've got that. I'm going to just drop that one down to about 55. Tuning my rocket slightly without even looking at it. I think everything else is pretty good. Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, it'll all work up to that point. Yeah, this is all crying out to be restructured, but I'll get onto it. It's just every time I restructure something, I break something, so you can see why I'm reluctant to do it sometimes. Now, I'm gonna have to no, this is cool. This is cool. Yeah, no, that's all right. He can jump out and do some science. Not that he's earning any more points. He's already cleaned up that area. All right, let's get something on the screen. This is just everyone just listening to me talking must be pretty boring. I don't even want to listen to me talking. I keep trying to review my own videos and I keep falling asleep. Yeah, I've been very tired lately. I've had insomnia. It's just stupid. Only sleeping 4 hours at a time. It's not quite enough. You don't dream enough. Get it all out of your system. In my opinion, I'm no expert. Flyby. It was called Orbit Minmus, wasn't it? That was the one I was using. Okay. Now I think I got Jeb up to two stars, so we might put Val. We might put Val in it and see if that makes any difference. Okay, she can do some extra training. Okay. Why is it always nighttime on my server? Why is it always nighttime on my server? Whenever I play the multiplayer user games, it's always nighttime. Just my luck, I guess. Hang on, I'm just setting up another a restore point. Do it this way. All right, just bring it out. Orbit, Minmus. And you swap pilots on me. Don't do this, game. It's always doing something weird. Give me the illusion that I can put a pilot in it and do a save, and then it swaps the pilots anyway. Well, at least we got the day. At least we got the day right. Let's just save this, just in case something goes pear-shaped. Right. Okay. We're getting there. Good. We're getting there. Are we winning? All right. 5 minutes of watching. I can answer the message on my phone that's just sitting there annoying me. Don't know him, I don't think. Oh, sorry, I was speaking out loud. Somebody else died. Mm. It should give us a slightly better circular orbit. So I just dropped the sustainer level down a bit, so it flattens out the orbit a bit more. The more you reduce the delta V required to circularize it, the better the circularization tends to be. Not quite out of the atmosphere yet. Oh boy. Australia launched its first rocket, and unfortunately it didn't get very far. Yeah, I'm not going to nitpick it. It seemed like it had an engine failure. Some of the engines seemed to conk out. Yeah, okay, early days yet. Sure they'll have another crack at it in due course. I think the thing that's been holding the Australian rocket industry back is the amount of regulation and approval that you have to get. Yeah, we've got a pretty good bureaucracy in Australia. let me put it like that. Our cousins over the Tasman in New Zealand are doing much better than us. They've got Rocket Lab, but you know, I think that's actually an American company. They're just launching from New Zealand. Because it makes sense to launch from the southern hemisphere from time to time. I think that's one of the reasons for doing it. It's best to have a diversified launch sites either way, so that's all good. Yeah. I think it was a multi-stage rocket too. I just had a quick look at it. It had an adapter. So that usually implies that it's multi-stage if it's got an adapter section. And supposedly SpaceX Starship is I've probably mentioned it before. It's launching, I think early August, but there's still no sort of firm dates for it yet, and it's almost August now. Until the FAA and that starts posting firm dates, I don't quite believe it. We'll just have to see. And I'll try to live stream that one, of course. Unfortunately, all my live streams of SpaceX Starship are all looking the same at the moment. Yeah, it'd be nice if something changed. Oh, it's just the way it is. And if you don't like me, that's fine. Go watch NASA Spaceflight or Everyday Astronaut or somebody like that. Or just go straight to the SpaceX site and watch it there. Or watch it on X. Do whatever works for you. But I will be covering it hopefully, unless something goes wrong, I will definitely cover it. So you come on and chat to me if you want. Not that I know anything really. Yow. So I hope it stops. Val can get out and do a spacewalk. That should add to her experience levels. Gosh, my beard's still wet. Bloody hell. And dry it off properly. Can't see, she's on the other side. She's out there. Here's something to look at. Alright, we're in orbit. I could trim that up a little bit if I ever had to, but there she is. There's the lady. If I can call a non-human alien a lady, I assume she is. Alright, yeah, it's not the most perfect of orbits, but it's close enough. I don't dare go any lower because, as you can see, there's some rather lumpy mountains here. Alright, we'll take the quick save, and we'll take a proper one as well. Save game. Alright, so now we've got a point we can go back to. Now, alright, let's start coding. How is this gonna work? Is this going to work? And have you guessed what I'm gonna do yet? Where's my lander, you might be saying? Well, I've got a lander. It's just not obvious. Gosh, it's going to heavy rain outside too now. So what I'm going to do is comment that out for starters. Now how am I going to play this? Probably write a procedure, a new function. What am I going to call it? Have I already written one that works? I can't remember. No, that's because I'm sort of keying it off. Let's all good coding starts with a new function. So let's just write a new function, start off there, and we'll start thinking about what it is that we're trying to achieve here. Okay, say local function. Local function. Land. Okay. Land Kerbal. All right. Land a Kerbal. from a parking orbit. Right. Actually, it's not even, I think I have written this procedure already. It's probably not even, I think all you can really do at this point in time is EVA them. I probably have already written it. Hang on. There's not a lot you can do. All you can do is EVA them. I don't know if I've already done it somewhere. Probably not. Deorbit. I think I've just made it part of other, yeah, that's what I did. I've made it part of other procedures, didn't I? I had one that failed. It's called rescue or something, wasn't it? Where was it? If I can find it again. I probably lost it. Deorbit, launch to orbit. Do rendezvous. Okay, that worked. Do rescue curve, and that's right. That failed, I think. Yeah, because I discovered I couldn't control the other Kerbal. Yeah, that failed. This fly-by-mun one has I've retired it. Because I'm not going to maintain it anymore. Okay, yeah, I can't quite remember. Yeah, do orbit Kerbal. Vessel intercept. I probably rewrote it. It's probably gone, the original one that I wrote. Flyby. Gosh, what a mess. Why aren't I seeing it? I'm not seeing it at all. Where is it? Oh, don't make me use this help find function. Right, recover part. Yeah, I think I actually fudged it. Yeah, yeah. Let's just move on. Just wasting time here. I can fix it up later. I think I fudged it. I think I might have even been EVAing the just for testing. I was just EVAing the Kerbal manually, which I could do this time too. But I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it correctly. All right. So what we want to do now. The trickiest bit is getting the Kerbal back in the rocket. So I want the rocket to be in a particular orientation to begin with. Now, probably the best orientation is to have the cabin facing downwards in the orbit. The trouble is it's not going to stay there unless I it's not going to stay there unless I sort of leave it running, which I can. I'll try it. If it flats the battery, it flats the battery. At least we'll find out. So it's pretty simple. You just a time for steering. Okay, 10 seconds. I just allow 10 seconds for the hell of it, and you just say lock steering to what are we going to lock it to? This could be interesting. It's going to be, look, dir. Now you want it parallel, so you want it parallel to the surface. So maybe the velocity vector is probably good enough. So let's just lock it to the velocity vector. Well, see, orbit, yeah, that'll do. Velocity vector orbit, yeah, that's the one. And now there's a number of built-in directions in Kerbal Operating System, so we're going to use one of those. There's a good one that's called up, UP, just up. It's a line between the center of mass. It defines a vector between the center of mass of your ship and the center of the body that you're currently rotating around. So that's why they call it up, because it points up. But we don't want to point up. We actually want to point in the other direction. But it's called ship facing. This is starting to use the internal rotation axes of the vessel, which we haven't even worried about it this much up to this point in time because we didn't have to. So it's ship facing up, and it's the four vector. But we don't want to face up. We actually want to face down. So you just take, if you want a vector to point in the opposite direction, very simple. Stick it, negate it. That's the beauty of vectors. They were very well behaved like that. Well, it might be that it feels like they set it up this way on purpose. Now, why does it think I misspelled something? Because I did. Oh, okay, interesting. Well, it's gonna support it. We'll just see what happens. Now, what this means is you have a look at the cabin, where the cabin is, the crew hats, I should say. Whenever you build a command, actually any part, technically any part that you build, it's got its own internal orientation, and think of that as being a set of axes built into the part. Now, depending on what sort of part it is, will kind of define how that's been set up. Now, I know for a fact these crew cabins, they define the hatch as up. They define that as up. They define that direction as forward, and they define the right of the crew cabin as starboard, which it is. It's usually on the right hand side. The rhyme is there any red port left? So port is left, starboard is right. So you just keep it in that way. So that means you've got free access. You've got one that points out of the crew hatches. You've got one that points along the long axis of the capsule, and you got one that points out to the right. Now it's very important to memorize that if you start to do any complex rotations of your rockets in Kerbal Operating System. Now it's called starboard because if you face the how does this work? is there any red port left? Port was, when they say port, I think they meant the coast. Starboard was the horizon opposite the coast, so obviously you see the stars, and your ship pointed, doesn't seem right, does it? Ship point north, you think it'd be the other way around. You think that'd be the port side and that'd be the starboard side. So I got something wrong already. I can't remember why they call it starboard, but there is a way of remembering it all. Starboard. So, and you might also, if you're paying attention, you might always also realize that they also exactly define the pitch roll and yaw axis, but that's more relevant when you're making aircraft. But it still applies to rockets as well. It's just not as important because it really doesn't matter what their orientation is. So I don't think in terms of pitch, yaw, and roll. I think in terms of forward, top, and starboard, and it has exactly the same effect. I guess if you looked at the rocket from that point of view, then starboard makes sense. Maybe that's what they meant. Maybe it's got to point south. I better look it up. But anyway, it's port. It may not be the coast at all. It might be something else. Anyway, whatever. I digress. So we want to point downwards. So it's just very simple. It's very simple. We just take the ship. We take the up direction, and yeah. So the up direction is going to be straight up, but we want the ship to be pointing opposite that. Does that make any sense? What I just said? Ship facing. Look dr up. Yeah. Sorry, because this function stands for look direction and up. So the first vector defines which direction you're looking in, and the second one defines what you want the up part of the cabin to be facing. So, and we want it to actually point downwards. So yeah, we can actually run this and see if it works, just to get our orientation correct. So we can just put it here. Let's say wait 10. Do land Kerbal. This might sound a little bit long-winded, but you got to, if you don't get right sort of up front, you end up with problems later on. So it's important to go through it. If I explain it, it makes me concentrate more on what I'm doing as well. So we can actually run this and see what happens. All right. All right. Let me get back to me thing. Yeah, well, we do you, Tui. Let's see if it has any effect on the ship. It's a long 10 seconds. Very long 10 seconds. I don't believe that's working. Oh yeah. Gets me every time. Hang on. Gets me every bloody time. Yeah, I forgot to put in the weight. I always do that. I'm hopeless. Hopeless. All right, yeah, let's go back. Alright, so I didn't tell it to keep running. So in this case, you just say wait forever. You just say until false. Wait until false. Yeah. Now, because it's a wait, it may not drain the batteries because I want the ship to stay in this position at all times because I've got to aim for it later and I want it to be in a good attitude so I don't bounce off and shit like that. So early days yet, but here's hoping that it'll actually work. All right, so yeah, I'll say also I should also say wait steering, because more code's going to come after this, of course. I'll steer. Jesus Christ, I'm hopeless. 6 steering 6, which I've misspelt there too. All right, cool bananas. This looks a little bit better. Let's just see what effect it has on my rockets. It's a very, very simple guidance program. Interesting. Interesting. What on earth did I do wrong? Huh. All right, weird. Okay, I don't know what happened then. It's complaining about something. What on earth does it complain about? Do land Kerbal locks. It seems so simple. Lock steering to 10. Lock steering to look DR up. Could it be? I don't believe it. Ship facing up, 4 vector. It's complaining about something. Oh, okay, it's sorry. Got it. Yeah, it's a typo. Not ship facing up, just ship up. It's a predefined direction, and they've also got another one that's called north, which points north. It's 90 degrees from the up one, of course, and that's good because that defines the sort of defines a plane as well. So that's all you need. You need one that points north, and you need one that points up, and you can pretty much derive everything else from those two. So you don't need any more. That's all you need really. Yeah. So anyway, let's have another crack at it. Okay. Let's see if I've got it right this time. I can just leave it running if it works. There we go. Now you remember I was talking about rolling and all that. Yeah, well that you just saw a good example of it. It doesn't matter too much with a rocket, but it matters a great deal with a plane, of course. All right, so you can see we're now oriented with the cabin facing down, which is exactly what I want. So my rocket will stay in this position forever. I think because it's a weight, it's deemed to not have any power drain associated with it, because technically you're leaving the steering manager running indefinitely. It should flat the battery, but I think they throw you a bone on this one and don't do it. I don't think it drains, so we can just leave it running forever, which is exactly what I want now, because it's a weight. Actually, yeah, it's a weight. And what's happening? You'll see it doesn't matter. It'll keep adjusting its position to keep the cabin facing downwards. Because if you're going around in an orbit, you think if you're going around an orbit, that means relative to the moon, you've actually rotated once. So if you keep your orientation the same from the point of view of the planet, you actually rotate once around, and you don't want that. So it's actually doing a counter rotation. Once it's doing one counter rotation or a flip per orbit of Minmus, which is exactly what you want. So it's an active thing, and the reason why it works, I just want to go over this just very quickly, because you look at the code and you're thinking the code doesn't do that, but yes, it does. The reason it works is because steering, when you lock steering like this, it's actually a trigger. So it's running in the background. It's re-evaluating this look DR up function with new values, approximately 50 times a second. So I haven't told it to stop. So it continues to run. So it continues to reorient your steer your ship into the correct attitude, which is exactly what I want. So I want the cabin to be facing down with no matter where the ship is. So that's a good start. That's exactly what I want. All right. So next thing is to boot Val out of her nice ship. Now I've already written some code that did something similar to this, but I'm going to write a new procedure. But it's going to be a Kerbal function. So I have to go over to here. Right, now let me just refresh my memory. I kicked them out of the yeah, I'll start writing a new I won't try to use this one. It's not very good. Actually, I want to retire this one. It's turned out to be shite. Actually, you know what? It might actually work. Should I use it? Probably not. I think it's shite. I think I can do better. Anyway, I don't really need it. I just need this first section. I need this thing. I've got some code that always sort of works. Yeah, local thrust vec. Good grief. What a mess. Actually, I should, I'll take it one step back. I should start to write the function first. I'll call it, it's just going to be almost the same thing. That's do land Kerbal, which is a, someone's got the same name, but I don't want to give it the same name. I'm going to call this do land Kerbal. Well, it's not landing it. It's more like a do EVA Kerbal from parking orbit, which is what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's a bit long-winded. Do EVA Kerbal. And what the Kerbal decides to do after that is the Kerbal's business. Do EVA. Actually, EVA is EVA. You don't have to put it in twice. Just say do EVA from parking orbit. I might think of a better name, but it'll do it for now. Parking orbit, orbit. All right, we've got that one. Now this new one is going to, we're going to call it, it probably should be called do land Kerbal. Land. Yeah, we'll call it land for now. It seems a bit weird, but yeah, no, I'll fix it up later. I'll worry about the details later. Okay, so we've already got a bit of code that we can start with. First, top down. Let's just get rid of this crap. It's all out of date. Including the bit about the jetpack, which you weren't supposed to see, because that's another project I'm working on. Okay, so the vessel name is that, and vessel, and that gives us a pointer to the vessel. Orbit Minmus, yep, okay. We'll say just wait 5 do land Kerbal. Okay. All right. Do land. Why is it complaining about that? Oh, sorry. Do land Kerbal. So I had a bit of code that I can use. From there to about there, I think. Copy that. It's just getting the Kerbal out of the craft neatly. That's all it's doing. Let go crew hatch. Yeah, load release, wait 1, move away from cabin. We just go backwards. So it's just cabin. There's no ladder. There's just a hatch. Okay. But turn to. We'll just stop. We'll just stop at that point and think about what it is that we have to achieve here. Now, I better give you a refresher of what happens with the way Kerbals operate. A Kerbal is actually its own little ship. So as soon as you EVA the Kerbal, it just becomes a new ship. It spawns. So once you do that, you can no longer control it from your first script. So the first script will just keep running on the vessel orbit Minmus and hopefully keep maintaining that orientation that we want indefinitely. And you can probably guess why I want that orientation to be maintained forever. There's that. So the Kerbal has got to sort of figure out what it has to do and operate autonomously, but I haven't, because it's its own vessel, but I haven't figured out a really good way of doing this yet, so I'm just kind of ad-libbing it right now. So it spawns, and what it does is it immediately runs this boot up script here. So yeah, so you've got to figure out from here, you've got to figure out what it is you're going to run straight away. So yeah, it runs every time it spawns, it just boots up. This is a boot up script. So yeah, so that's why it's kind of structured a little oddly. And that's the reason why. So I put in the Kerbal stuff into here. So all I'm going to do is let go the hatch, and move away from the crew cabin, so it doesn't bump into its own ship again if it has to do something. And that's all it's going to do, and that's it. It's finished. Now, the way it kicks off is you've got to EVA it. So I can't remember. Did I write a function? It's so simple. I don't. I probably did, but hang on. I've already used it. Got to use a horrible bloody find. Makes me nervous. I don't know why. It's just so clunky. It's called VA. Do EVA from parking orbit. Go EVA. Yeah, all right. Oh, I did write I just want to have a look at the function. I did write a separate function. But where did I write it? Probably in here. Yeah. Making me nervous. There it is. Go EVA, and it's just one line. All right, let's just stick with. That's probably stupid, but let's just run with it for now. Stupid is my middle name. So all we have to do now is wait for it to steer into its position, and then we just say go EVA. And that will cause it to spawn, and then it goes off and boots up its own little script and runs it. So very, very simple little program here. Just wants to get the skeleton of the thing working, the outline of it working correctly. All right, so let's run that. Something to run. Thank goodness. All right, so just to do this again. Okay, why is that dead? Uh-oh. Yeah. Why am I getting nothing there? Oh, it's still running. Sorry, yeah, of course, it's still running. Okay. All right. Damn it! Oh, sometimes it doesn't let me no. Okay, it's not going to let me do it. Right, whatever. Thank you. I just see the Kerbal pop out. Right, and it goes and whips the camera around, of course, because the game just likes to do that. Whoa, that was a lot of ejection force. That is not ideal. I've had this trouble before. It just suddenly ejects. Val's gonna die. Boy, they kick you into a stupid orbit, Val. Are you gonna crash? Oh no, she lives. She lives. We've got to remember we're pretty damn low. It doesn't take much around Minmus to do anything. That's why you come here. It's already out of sight. That was a lot of force. I don't like it because it means you start off from an uncontrollable position. Yeah, the EVA mod it's a bit cantankerous. I think there's something a little bit suspiciously wrong with it, but I can't. I have to make do with what I got. You know, that's all right. Um, yeah, maybe it even just needs to be recompiled or something. I might look at that. I might actually. I'm almost tempted to write my own version now. I don't think it's that complicated. Once you've figured it out, I might even end up writing my own version in C sharp and compiling it and all that. It's a bit of a learning curve. That's the only thing. I'd much rather use somebody else's mod than write my own, just because I'm not a C sharp programmer. Uh, that was a lot of force. I think I had this problem before, but I sort of solved it and then it comes back again. All right, let's start from the top. Up from the top. Let's try it again, just on the chance that it was a unlikely. Now, if I just EVA'd her now manually, see what happens. She suddenly decides that she's spring loaded. No, she interacted with the ship. That's what happened. Gosh. It's because she's facing downwards. All right. Yikes. I think I know how to fix that up. All I have to do is wait a little bit longer. Unfortunately, these weights are clunky, but you know what can you do? What happens is she drifted away from the hatch, but then she tried to orient herself, and she hit her head against the hatch, and that's why it reacted, and she bounced off. Okay, so that's what happened. So I'll just increase that weight slightly there, so she's just a little bit further away. And I forgot to activate the telnet. Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna happen every time I bloody do a restore. Unfortunately, I keep forgetting to do it. Okay, right. All right, so let's run this one and have a look. So I just don't want it to start off in such an uncontrolled manner. That's very sloppy. All right, so we can see what the heck's going on. Actually, yeah, that way. All right, there's the attitude control. Whips the camera around whether you like it or not. Yeah, she still banged her head against the bloody thing. Gosh, is the jetpack enabled? Yeah, it did. It did. She might have fired the jetpack. I couldn't even, honestly could not even tell. All right. Let's have a look at the code and see if the code's doing something weird. Well, it's always doing something weird with Kerbals. Yeah, I activate the jetpack and then I just want to move backwards. Oh, I guess that was sort of normal then. Okay, at least it wasn't as violent as the first time. I think you agree it was a little more controllable. Actually, just to prove that I'm actually know what I'm doing. Let's just move this backward statement out there and see what happens. She should just sit there. Maybe that's just a little bit too energetic. Now the thing is, when you're using a Kerbal jetpack, it's either on or it's off. You don't have any thrust control. I'll talk about that in a little bit. It makes riding autopilot scripts interesting. You got to think differently. All right, let's just do it this way, do it correctly. Okay, run career 1. I don't think she's going to be landing today somehow at this rate. Yeah. The steering does what it does. It's a bit hard to predict which way it's going to steer. And she should just drift away, but not bounce. You know what? I saw that. That was sneaky. The activation itself, she went and oriented herself north. That's what she's done. No, she sort of did. She half did it. I think she did. I think she oriented herself north. That's strange. I've never noticed that behavior before. It's normal. It's what they're supposed to do, but it means that they actually run the jetpack a little bit automatically, and you may not expect that. So let's just take let's just take the toggle out as well. Toggle on, see, and then hope. Okay, what's what supposed to happen? She's just supposed to drift off. I'm just trying to check that there's not something weird going on. If there is something weird going on, I want to know about it as soon as I can, so I can take it into account. All right. Okay. Yada. It gets boring after a while. Doing all these things. The computers are supposed to do the hard work, not us. We end up working for the computers, you know. Think about it. You do. You do. You end up working for the computer. It does not bode well for when the AI takes over, I can tell you. It's going to turn us all into paper clips. Now she should just drift away without doing anything stupid. Okay. Now, all right. So this, see, because she's coming out of a capsule and it's got a funny shape. I guess if you wanted a little bit more control, I would recommend putting some ladders up and down the craft and just get her to walk down the ladder. So at least when she leaves the vessel, it's on a straight section and not a weird angle like that. But anyway, we'll let it go. I think we now understand what's happening, so we'll let this one go and not worry about it too much. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's excellent. That's excellent. That's excellent. All right. Let's just try to do something useful. I got to write a deorbit script for a ready Kerbal. That's sad. All right, let's just leave the backward thingy bobby in. And we'll just make it 1 second here. I just don't want her to bang ahead. Maybe we'll just make that free so she drifts a little bit faster. It'd be nice if there was some very gentle ejection mechanism, but I can't think of one. So I wanted to move backwards, and then she stops, so she'll be moving away from the vessel, so she doesn't collide with the vessel again and fuck up all my calculations in the process. It's not like staging, which is nice and controlled. All right, so we're going to have to deorbit a Kerbal. We're going to think about this. Now, I've tried. she's a ship, but her jetpack is not an engine, unfortunately. So you don't get any of the engine information available to you, like thrust and stuff like that. It just doesn't happen. It's an animation. It's not a part. It's not a part, so you can't query it if it's not a part. You can query her as if she's a vessel, but she's like a vessel that doesn't have any engines installed. So you can't get thrust information and all that. So you gotta be clever and get around all that. But she is a ship, so she's got a well, you can see it right here. She's got a velocity and a position, and you can do a lot with just velocity and position. So if she wants to deorbit, the first thing she has to do is she has to do a retrograde burn, in effect. Because we don't have access to any thrust information, we can't use the ideal rocket equation either. So we can't calculate times. You've got to apply thrust and all that good stuff. Maybe I could fudge it, but I don't really want to. By trying, if somebody could tell me what the thrust of the jetpack is, I can make some assumptions on it, and just do a simple division statement, because she does consume propellant, but I don't know if it changes her weight in any way. So as she consumes propellant, will her acceleration increase? No idea. So I'm going to by step past all that and I've mentioned it before. There's two ways of doing controls. One is you work out careful timings for everything, or the other is you just use feedback. So I'm going to use the feedback method because I reckon I'm good at it. And it might make the process a little quicker with a bit of luck. So I've got some information. I've got a position and I've got a velocity and a direction. I can work with that, I think, and use a feedback method to work stuff out. I might change my mind. I just have to experiment with it a bit more, I think. All right. So if I wanted, okay, first thing, if you want to do your orbit, you've got to do a retrograde burn. Now you've also got two choices, because you can actually fire the jets forward and you can fire them backwards. So let's just I can depending on how it looks, I'll start off with the very simple way of doing it, which is to point retrograde and fire the jets forward. So the way we do that, yeah, I got to improvise some steering times, and it's going to be full of weights. Yeah, so if you want to fire retrograde, the simple way of doing that, of course, is you can either use retrograde, I guess, which I don't do. I say ship, velocity, orbit, because we're talking about firing against the orbital velocity here. At this point in time, because we're deorbiting, we'll worry about the surface velocity some other time. And I just negate that. Right. So she'll turn to face retrograde, and then give her amount of time to orient herself. I just pick a time to. I'll figure out good times and I'll set them up as constants. Then I just say move forward. So this is our proof of principle. We're going to do a simple retrograde burn as a proof of concept. So we just say move forward. And we'll just burn for 10 seconds and see what happens. See how far we get. See if we get a significant orbit change out of this, and then she'll stop. And always remember, stop. You got to stop, because apparently if you execute the move command, it just continues to execute until you tell it to stop. Yeah, so she'll thrust with the jetpack for 10 seconds and then stop. That's very simple. We'll see what effect it has on the orbit. Yeah, okay. So I'm making what? Oh, I just lost OBS. Yeah, all right. Yeah, cool. Thank you, OBS. What are you doing to me? OBS, what's going on? I don't even have any drop frames. Gee, when I did that real time thing earlier today, I was getting drop frames all over the place. The internet was very bad. But then it's sort of settled down, but it's pretty good at the moment. No drop frames. You can tell, because if the internet is not sort of keeping up with OBS, it has to start to skip frames. Otherwise, it just ends up, the frames that haven't been processed yet just end up queuing indefinitely. So it just starts to, it says, okay, you're at the end of the queue, go home. It just starts to drop frames to keep up. Which is a bit crude, but it works. So all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to reset from, we're going to go from the top again. I'm not even going to reorient it. I can't be bothered. Okay, I'll just watch. It's tiresome reorienting it all, the cameras all the time. I'll look at that because that's useful. All right, parking orbit. Get the mothercraft into position. Whip the camera around because that's a thing. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can work with that. I can work with that. Will she stop? I guess she did. All right. Okay, so what effect did we have? She's deorbited. That's all it took. See, Minmus is good. You don't need much. You don't need much. So she's going to die, in effect. All right, that's cool. She's dead, but she's deorbited and she's going to hit the ground at some point. All right, didn't take much, did it? All right. Unfortunately, we can't, because her instrumentation is all I got's navbore and nothing else. I don't have apoapsis, periapsis, and that. It's not easy. You can just go over to the other screen and have a look, I guess. No, you can't. Gosh, that's sad, isn't it? Got to end up using bloody MicJeb if they're not careful. I'll avoid using MicJeb. Yeah. Mothercraft has sailed off by itself. It's already out of sight. I guess I can switch the targeting on. I'll worry about that some other time. It's gone. So I get an altitude. I've got an altitude. I've got a distance. I've got a terrain. She knows when she's going to die. Yeah, some things I can calculate and others I can't, and her orientation is weird. Now the nav ball behaves differently when you're EVAing. You can see it's just responding to the mouse pointer, but the velocity vectors and all that are the same, so you get some information here. That's all good. So she actually that velocity vector wasn't too bad actually. How long before she dies, you reckon? Will I kill her? No, I can always revert. Always revert. Yeah, look, some of those mountains are high. All right, let's I guess I'm just wasting time waiting for it to die here. It probably won't take long though. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's locked out. I thought that would be wrong. Oh, it's giving us a time. I never even noticed that. It's amazing what you can miss sometimes. Okay, she's gonna die. All I have to do is that 2.5 minutes. She's gonna die. God, we're getting scatters and everything. Getting a bit. You wanna do something there, Val? I think you're gonna. Yeah, I think you're in trouble. You're gonna hit. Kerbals are tough, but she'll probably vaporize. All right, let's see how tough she is. I just want to see. I just want to see this. Let's see how the ragdoll behaves itself once it touches the ground. Funny, our RCS is still activated. Not anymore. Ah, yeah, okay, that's oriented her north, I think. It's just, because we're not doing that. That's actually, she's only got two orientations, free or chase. Oh, that's interesting. Don't know who they're trying to fool. Oh, we've got the scatters coming up. Will she explode or will she just roll? Will she just roll forever? Yeah, coming in pretty hot, Val. You've got to do something real quick. Gonna make it over that ridge? Probably not. RIP. All right. No, that was a good test. That was a good test. It didn't take much to deorbit her at all. Yeah, oh, we've got a milestone. You killed. Hang on. What? Seriously? Well, I guess we did. I guess we did. All right. Okay. Let's revert that. Let's pretend that never happened. All right. So we can deorbit it quite easily. So the next step is to deorbit Val in a controlled fashion. Now, here's where I start to set up a loop. Now, there's two schools of thought here. When it comes to deorbit, there's two methods that I use. One looks good, and the other one looks terrible. But it is more efficient. So I'm going to use the looks good method, I guess, for the deorbit. So what we want is What if I should use the horrible one, the one that looks terrible, but is more efficient? Alright, so, okay, stop. Okay. Alright, we need a loop. We need a loop. Until we're going to have a terminating condition. What would be our terminating condition? It's not going to be it's never going to be 0. I'll just make something up until ship velocity, let's see, orbit magnitude, because it's never going to come to 0. I'll make something up. I'll call it 5. I'll make up a figure. Not knowing what the correct figure is supposed to be yet. So basically, we want to reduce her speed in a controlled fashion towards about 5 meters a second, and then just stop. All right. So we want to turn to the yeah, I'll leave it in the orbital frame for now. Then I'll say yeah, I'm just gonna move forward. Yeah, all right, I'll do this the most stupidest way possible, and then refine it into something less stupid. So we'll execute the move forward command, and so we activate the jetpack, right? We activate the jetpack, and then we just keep going until the velocity is 5. Simple. And then we stop. See how well it responds to this. Yeah, I thought jetpacks, if you switch them on, they took a while to build up their thrust, but it's just the velocity meter being artistic. It's actually on and off. As soon as it's active, she has full thrust, and when you stop it, the thrust just immediately drops to 0. Forget about what the throttle says. It's either 100% or not. As far as I know, if anybody thinks otherwise, let me know, but I can't figure out a way of doing it, so I've got to work with what I know. So that's okay. She can just keep thrusting until she stops. All right, that's a good little program. Let's test this. I've got to produce some content. On career 1. So far we get. We haven't had any glitches yet, so be thankful for that, I guess. Be thankful for that. Actually, I should be trying to. I need my little screen too. What you gonna do, Val? What you gonna do? All right, she's deaccelerating. The ship just vanishes off into the sunset real quick. It's already gone. Let's see if her what happens if her velocity gets to 5. She should stop. And you want to start to think about your fuel situation, which is a bit weak. I already know she's got 600 meters a second of delta V in that pack, which is more than adequate. I did the calculations the other night. I thought, oh, I was worried that she wouldn't have enough fuel, but I reckon, yeah, okay, she stopped. All right. Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. Did I just lose my my thing? I did. What happened? Sorry. Oh, sorry. I didn't do this. My apologies. Yeah, I should put in a couple extra print statements just to make life interesting. Oh, okay. Well, that worked, but now she's just falling basically in effect. Sorry, I was too busy talking. I wasn't even looking at the velocity vector on the gauge or anything. So, all right. So, okay, she responds to that, which is good. All right. So we can kill her velocity quite easily. So what I'm going to do is just put in a couple of move away from crew cabin. Then I'm going to say yeah, move away from crew cabin. I'm going to say print deorbit. Deorbit. That'll do. That'll do for now. So you know what's going to happen. All right, I'll watch the gauges this time because I was too busy sort of focusing on something else. Deorbit. Yeah, no, that'll do. That'll do for now. Let's go again. You're not going to die this time, Val. But you're lucky. All right. I need my little screen up. Oh, God. I hate the focus change on this thing. You need a screen. My viewers need a screen that they can actually see without a magnifying glass. All right, let's keep our eyes on the gauges this time. God, I hate that's the one bad thing. It keeps automatically resizing that one. I don't want it to. What? Come on. All right, so you can see the throttle takes a while to build up, but I think it's basically on or off. So our velocity vector is looking like that. Yeah. Yeah. It seems a little bit off some reason. Yeah, sure. Maybe that's more accurate because that's a retrograde marker. So she just deorbits. She's got a tiny acceleration. It's only a fraction of a g. You can see that there. Yeah, pretty much. And then it goes up, the velocity immediately starts going off again because she's in effect falling. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, and I hate that spinning nonsense, but that starts to happen occasionally. There's something wrong with the mod. It does that sometimes. Hang on. It might stabilize, probably not. She's going straight down. She's pretty much straight. She's going straight down. All right, that's cool. Well, you're going straight down then, mate. Yeah, she's going straight down. There we go. We've successfully deorbited completely. So we're gonna land, and not in a good way. I might yeah, I might, just to make it look a little picturesque, better picturesque. I'm gonna change the orientation a bit. It'll look better. I'll probably get roughly the same results. Yeah, she's gonna die. I don't want the spinning though. Won't even let me click on it for some reason. That's interesting. Oh, got a mosquito flying around my head. Jeez, that's annoying. All right, let's. Yeah, she's gonna die. She's gonna impact the surface. Oh, come on! Fly in front of me and I'll kill you. Still a couple of kilometers up. So she'll be probably going about 100 meters a second by the time she reaches the ground. All right, I think everyone knows what's going to happen to her. She's going to die. That's cool. All right. So what I'm going to do, thinking about this a little, I'm going to make it a little bit more cinematic. So I'm actually going to face her in the prograde direction, but I'm going to use backward thrust. So it'll kind of look better because she'll follow her path down if you think about it. I reckon it'll look a bit better. Okay, like that. And I'm also gonna follow the surface velocity vector, although it probably doesn't make a huge amount of difference because Minmus doesn't spin very fast, so and it doesn't have an atmosphere, so surface velocity, yeah, it spins very slowly. So, but I'll do it anyway. So I'll point towards the surface velocity, and but I'll thrust backwards, so she'll face towards the ground as she descends. So this should look pretty good actually. I'm hoping it'll look, because I gotta make some content. At some point. I'm gonna look for anything that looks slightly classy. Slightly classy. It's just gotta look cool. Think about it. Um, it's just gotta look cool. All right. So let's see how cool it looks. Now, unfortunately, I can't control the camera from the script. It just doesn't work. It's a fourth wall thing. It doesn't work. You can't do it unless you put in yet another mod, and I don't want to end up in mod hell. People install 100 mods, and then sooner or later the penny drops and they start to uninstall them because they all fight each other and stuff. You just got to be careful. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it. Just be aware that there might be issues. Unfortunately, I can't control the now. Is she actually? Yeah, she's working. Okay, it's working. Um, but she's tilted. Interesting. I wonder if I can do something about the orientation. But it is working. It is working. All right. You might know what I'm going to do next. All right. Okay. The strange orientation was unexpected, but I might be able to do something about that. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. That bullshit. Um, it means her direction vector is changing too quickly for her to keep up with it. That's why I tended to code in pulses, because you've got to give everything time to kind of settle between each pulse. So short. Well, yeah. Don't look at it, it makes you sick. Okay. No, I don't like that. Somebody will vomit. Um, yeah, I know why. It gets into a feedback loop. Um, so there are ways of getting around it. I won't get too complicated just yet. So what we're going to do now, seeing we do have this control, now the thing is about following the vector down. The vector it starts off horizontal, but then it becomes more and more vertical. That's why some people like to use it, because I think following it is great, but it is not the most efficient way of deorbiting. It'll waste fuel, but hey, it's a game. Who cares? So we'll just keep following the velocity vector down. Theoretically, we just follow it all the way down to the very ground, and then then she'll land. We might get a landing done tonight, with a bit of luck. I haven't had any showstoppers hit me yet. So so we're going to modify the loop slightly. I'll just try to get this working in a rough sense. So I'll just say let's just invent a flag, invent a boolean. I'll just call it local. I don't know, landed. How about landed? I could do it. I probably could do it that way. Yeah. Yeah. I'll do it. No, I'll do it that way. Make it look like I know what I'm talking about. I'll just say until ship status is equal to landed. In other words, she's deemed to have landed if she hits the ground, touches the ground. That's all it takes. Hang on, I'll just better get manual up and just check that I've got the right detail. Yeah, okay. Status. Well, we don't have to worry about splashdown because there's no there's no water. Status. Ship status is yeah, it's just landed. That's all it is. Landed. Until ship status. So that's our terminating condition. She may not land very gracefully, but that's all right. We'll work on that. Now, like I said, we want to avoid this spinning bullshit. I think we just okay. We we switch on the engines and we just say until she's landed. So what will happen is she'll follow the vector down, which will become more and more vertical. And now I don't know what she's going to do when it becomes vertical. Will she go vertical as well? Possibly she will, but we're going to find out. And we're going to add. You want to turn, and then you want to. Yeah, all right. This may still not work. I have to think about this. Yeah, I use pulses. When I did that intercept thing, it sort of worked, but I did pulses. And that stopped the spinning bullshit, but it's different. She's doing a spacewalk. The situation's a little bit different. I'll do that. My stupidest thing to do, just wait to let the spinning stabilize. No, that's kind of silly. Um, let's just let's just see. Let's just see what happens. She'll I've still got to put in a regulation here to stop her doing stupid things. So I already had the answer. I had the answer right there, didn't I? I already had the answer. So I say I was chucking a oh, yeah, if I had a throttle it would be great, but I think the throttle is bullshit. I don't think there's any throttle because there's no engines. Um, I'll say, yeah, I've got to do this all by dead reckoning. Uh, I just want to, I don't want to come to a complete stop. I just want her to slow down and stay slow, a controlled speed. Um, you can worry about if she does it when she's too high up, she'll just take forever to drift down. But okay, let's we can see the mechanism working. Then we can worry about regulating it to altitude or something like that. Say if now ship uh, the surface mag is we'll just pick 5. Just make up a number. Actually, that's probably not what we want to do. We want to make it less than 5. We just want to stop the engines. Stop her thrusting. But that means we've got to because we don't. She's either on or she's off. That's what I'm trying to say. So we have to stop it. We have to stop it. Now the stop itself can take a little while to run. That's the thing. This is why I do it in pulses. Okay, we still want this turn time. No, that's all right. We'll just run with this. So I just want it to stop. But then again, you got to, if speed gets up above 5 again, you want it to start again. Let's just hope that the command isn't going to do something weird if we keep calling it. Oh, we probably should, we probably shouldn't take a chance. We probably should use a flag here. Let's make up a flag. The local, we'll just say jetpack on, jetpack on. It's not on, it's off. To false. Like that, local jetpack on. Let's put curly braces in there anyway, because we need to add some more code later. You can see what I'm doing, going with this, I think. I would say, yeah, then we'll say set jetpack on to false. Right. So we switch the jetpack off basically. And if we need to put in a delay for it to switch off, we can add a delay at that point there. Else we say else now I put in the reason why I put in superfluous braces is because if you add code later, it just makes it a bit easier. You don't have to move too many lines around. Stuff potential to make errors. So, and then we say if else we want to switch them back on again. And now the thing is, we're going to test this. We're going to test this over and over and over and over and over. Oh, it probably doesn't make all that much difference. We do need to test it over and over and over because you never know when it's going to change. So if we'll say if jetpack off, pack on, if not jetpack on, then switch it on. Simple. We'll put in another one there in case we need it later. Just switch it on. We switched it. We'll say this line here. We just switch it back on again. All right. Now else. I think that's good. Yeah, I think it's going to go terminate that one there. All right, and this is our normal duty cycle, which is to keep turning into the velocity vector. How does this look? So we're starting to build a controller. In effect, there's probably 100 different better ways of doing this, but I got to start somewhere. Do I start thinking about it? I got to start thinking about it somewhere. So switches on again. Right, that looks like it will work. So if it drops, if the speed drops, if the her speed relative to the surface drops below 5, she stops thrusting. And if her speed goes up above 5, she'll switch the pack back on again. And meanwhile, she's all her autopilot is always keeping oriented into the velocity vector. Now you can probably see straight away there's going to be a problem here. It's a thing called hysteresis. If you just define a very simple cutoff point, it's just going to oscillate very quickly around that point. It's called chatter. So you probably don't want that. You want to add a little bit of a buffer in somewhere so that doesn't happen. So you're actually going to do this. I'm going to rewrite this slightly. So don't crucify me. This is the way I do case statements. I orient them like this. I reckon they're easier to read. Now, if the speed drops below 5, if it drops below 5, then stop. We probably need something else as well. Now, if the speed goes up, if the speed is greater than a value, but we're not going to use 5, we're going to use 6. So if you think about it, you define a 1 meter a second deadband. That may not be enough, but let's just start somewhere. It's a null point where you do nothing at all, so it tends to moderate the chatter. It doesn't eliminate it completely, but it reduces a lot of it if you do it. It's roughly a hysteresis loop. So if you want to look that up, if you're wondering what the heck I'm babbling about. So yeah, it's to stop it going on off, because it should be going, just being uncontrollable. I want to control everything, you see, because I'm a control freak. Right, so now it's also, we need to put, I suspect we need yeah, we need to, we're going to keep executing this stop command, and something tells me that's bad news. So we need to say at this point, we only need to switch it off if it's not off. If it's already off, then it's all good. Don't keep queuing up these commands into the Kerbal, because the Kerbal freaks out. So you just don't want to keep saying stop 50 times a second. That sounds like a bad idea. So you say, we're going to say not jetpack. So don't continue to, if it's already off, don't continue to switch it off. So it only happens once. And not jetpack on. So we switch it off, and we do exactly the same thing here, but in the opposite direction. Oh, sorry. And not. There we go. And need one flag. So in effect, we might have made some of this redundant. and jetpack and not jetpack on. Yeah, we can get rid of this one. Good. Simplifies our structure slightly. I think that's good. Got that in the wrong spot, haven't I? Have I? No. No. No, it's a case statement. If you want to be pedantic, you define your default. If neither of those is true, you define a default if you want to. I'll just leave it with nothing in it because I can't think of anything to do at this stage. We need to do we're coasting in effect. So we just say we switch it on again, and we set it not jetpack on. Then we've got to set it on to say what the status is. Set jetpack on to true. Cool. That should almost work. All right. I bet you she spins out all over the place. I bet you I've forgotten something. So the whole point is control, 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 and you don't let things oscillate. You just keep everything calm. Don't let everything jerk around or oscillate or anything, and then everything will be good. But once you start sort of jerking around in that, getting the ship jerking around and stuff, that's when things start to go weird because the oscillations tend to build up, and then suddenly you're spinning out of control. So I've done these, rough control things many times. So you've got to have a certain philosophy in the way you do your coding. And that's why I used things like deadbands and epsilons and stuff like that. I could almost use a PID loop. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe it's just crying out for a PID loop. PID loop would probably be, yeah. I bet you I end up with a PID loop, but I got to think about it. I got to think about it. PID loop would probably be good, actually. Except that you can't control the throttle is, oh, that's right, because the throttle is on or off. It's a bang bang. It's a bang bang controller situation, or an on-off controller if you don't like the term bang bang. I know why they called it bang bangs, because the jets used to go bang, 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 like that. Just they used to just give pulses, or something. Yeah, it's all right. So, all right. Well, we've got something to run. Yeah, I've got to make some content. I've got to make some content. All right, let's just see what happens there. Getting boring. Run. Unless something exciting happens, I'll try to wrap it up. These are getting too long. I've got to watch them again myself, and that's 3 hours. Especially if I go and fall asleep. Pretend to move I've got control of the camera when I don't. All right. Got a nice flat pat there for you to land on too. If you gonna land for me, Val? You gonna land for me? Let's see what happens when she hits 5. It seems stable this time, not sort of pointing in any strange directions. Interesting. It seems to be random. I'm gonna have to think about that. She probably does have a direction associated with her. Huh? There you go. Whoa, that was unexpected. She turned around. Of course she did, because I'm steering to a to a vector, and I changed the sense of the vector. Well, let's see what happens. Yeah, okay. I don't. What I say about control and not jerking around, and I spin around 180 degrees. Oops. Yeah, I got a solution for that. If you're designing an RCS controller in your program, you're going to get exactly this problem. But there's easy solutions. Yeah, I know what to do. I just want to see what happens if she actually does land somewhere. She's controllable. What does her orbit look like so far? Yeah, okay. She's coming down in fits and starts. See? Alright, I'm going to, at least till she runs out of fuel, I want to see what happens. Oh, God, see, as soon as I took my eyes off something, bang. As soon as I took my eyes off, I reckon it's just even moving the camera around causes issues. Honestly, and there's nothing you can do to, she doesn't have a flywheel, so you can't stabilize her again. I'll try. I don't think it's going to work. It's amazing. I just took my eyes off her for a second, and something weird shit happened. All right, let's clean this one. All right, what we're gonna have to do is instead of turning around 180 degrees, we just got to change the sense of the thrust, and we can do that luckily because we've got forward and backwards. Now how are we going to do this? So we're we're going to backwards, stop, backwards. It means she sort of overshot her vector. See, the vector was pointing forward, but it slowed down so much it started to point in a different direction. I'm trying to think of a quick way of doing this. I would almost we've missed something, you know. We've missed something. So if a speed gets down to 5, gets below 5, then stop. Basically stop thrusting. Switch the jetpack off. Okay. And else if it's greater than 5, greater than 6, and switch it back on again. The you would have thought that it would always be pointing forward. What caused it to point backwards? I wonder. she would start to speed up, of course, of gravity, but that's pointing downwards. Um, so she shouldn't have turned around. Something weird happened. Yeah. Yeah, probably. I get the feeling we shouldn't be doing this 50 times a second. Maybe several times a second is good enough. Approximately. um, uh, thinking. What would have turned the velocity around? I thought I knew, but now I'm thinking I was incorrect. It shouldn't have turned around because it should always be heading. That's the whole point about following the surface velocity vector. It's fairly well behaved. It only starts to get weird when it gets really low. But we're not at that point yet because we're saying we want it to be 5. So you want to maintain the speed at 5. Did it actually drop below 5? I guess it will at some point, won't it? Won't it? It will drop below 5. It must have dropped below 5. But still, 5 is still pointing in one direction. All right, and I won't change the camera now. I'll see if I can catch the spinning. I'm just wondering what was actually doing that spinning. But we probably don't have to run this 50 times a second. We can run it 5 times a second. You'd think that'd be fast enough. All right, let's have another crack at it. Did I revert? Yeah, I reverted. Right. 1. I think landing's hard. No, think about taking off again. That could be interesting. Yeah. Don't forget to do something. Oh, of course I forgot to run the program. All right. Oops. Uh-oh. Well, there's a nice tall mountain for you to land on there, Val. You don't have to go all the way down to sea level, you know. It's just got to be flat, relatively. Flat enough for you to land on. Oh, it'll make a slight difference. It's coming down, coming down, coming down. Up, up, up. Once that spinning starts, it may not stop. And stopped, just to prove me wrong. Well, she's regulating her speed. Well, I know if I go and look on the map view and come back, it should be spinning out of control. No, it's working, roughly. She's regulating her speed. 8 kilometers up, which is very useful. She's hovering at 8 kilometers up, which is not particularly useful. Um, it just means that you've got to pick where you start to do your hover. Um, Clearly not 8 kilometers up. It's kind of a waste of space. She'll just continue doing this until she she's slowly descending towards the surface, but it's just taking forever. You don't want to start hovering too early. The whole point of a suicide burn is you hover at the last possible instant. So I will have to do a suicide burn. Um, Even though I can't actually calculate it. Yeah. All right. No, that's good. That's good. But we're gonna. The trouble is, so she's hovering and yeah, no, she's regular. It works. It works. Regulating the speed. It's just taking forever because it's only 5 meters a second. We've got 8 kilometers to go. So it implies we've done it too early. So we need we need we need something to sort of say don't start your suicide burn yet. What I would probably do is just like I said, that the thrust is either on or it's off. But what you do is you just make the thrust short. You just make it in bursts, and you control the amount of time that you spend doing each burst. Now I've already done that before. There's ways of doing it. So you just tie that into say altitude or something, and you know when she's high up, she can do long thrusts, and as she gets lower and lower, they become shorter and shorter um, to regulate the speed. Now, what we need to do is probably we need to. The way I solve this with docking is just to make up an approach speed um, that I only apply once it gets close. So I wonder if this really helps. No, not really. This is why I don't like this method of following the surface vector. I think it wastes fuel. In effect, we're doing it. So um, the surface vector is going straight down. Left, right. Yeah, you see, we've got with this Kerbal, we've got left and right, but we haven't got up and down. So we can't keep it oriented. She's got to turn into the thrust vector, to the velocity vector, which is now straight down. So she's actually oriented the correct way. It'd be nice if we could just use translational controls, but there doesn't appear to be any. There's only rotational controls. You can go left or right, but you can't go. I don't think up and down work, which should look a lot better than this, because we could just keep her oriented upwards and just use up and down, like you'd expect it to work. Although this is probably more efficient. I'm just trying to think of an easy way of doing this. It's not going to. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use a regulated speed. Um, I'll just leave that running. I'll go and see if I can find some code I've already written, because I don't want to dream it up right now. I'm starting to get hungry. Me and my stomach. I've already got a line of code that does this. Yeah, approach speed. There, it's right. It's sitting right there. Sitting right there. Yeah, yeah. No, we can use that one. Uh, we can use that one. Actually, we can probably use both of them. Oh, we don't need closing speed. I mean, the ground's pretty large. You don't, you ain't gonna miss it. Yeah, that's what we want. We want approach speed. Approach speed times target position normalized. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. We just made up a bullshit vector there. We don't need that one. All right, we'll use. Did I copy that after all that? I might call it something different because it's going to be a little bit different. Uh, approach speed, because we're not really approaching. We'll just call it. We'll just make a bullshit term up. Descent speed. Descent speed. Uh, yeah. I'll call it descent speed for now. It's not really descent speed, but so we say am I in the right thing? Yeah, yeah, okay, sorry, yeah, I am. So we say we've got to define descent speed. Max descent speed. So then we can set it to whatever we want. Let's make it so don't shilly-shally around. Let's make it 50, just 50. That'll do for Minmus. So we'll just local safe height, safe altitude to maybe the last make it 1,000 meters. Invent these figures. Make it the last 1,000 meters. So safe. Safe out. But now we need here we need we want it to be altitude, terrain, preferably terrain altitude. So it's going to be alt radar. Yeah. It's a bit rough because really you should be detecting where she's heading. I'm going to be assuming she's going to be spending most of the time going straight down. So, which isn't true, but we're going to start somewhere. Max Descent speed. I don't think we need that. Do we? Don't think so. So all we do is we substitute here speed. Now we want to we still want our safe bands, so let's just call it 0.90 at this point in time. And here we say the same thing. Yeah, I'm missing the point. Maybe even I should be using vertical speed. We put in a dead band there. I just want to get something that works in about 10 minutes, because I won't go beyond 3 hours. Already it's gone on longer than I wanted. So yeah, that should, then we say, so basically radar divided by safe alt times max speed, max descent speed, minimum max descent speed. Okay, so basically when it's safe, she can go 50 meters a second. When it's not safe, she has to start to slow down. And we already know how to slow down, so we're good with that. All right, this might actually work. It's a crazy bit of code. It might actually work. All right. She's still going. Yeah, I thought you might be. Boring. Speed it up, Val. I know you got to go slow in space, but Jesus. Not that slow. We'll see if we can land you in one piece, Val, in the next 20 minutes or so. She thrusting? Yep. To get down to 50, then stop. Should stop. So this, yeah, you've got to check that it is actually enough, fast enough to deorbit. Yeah, okay, yeah. The situation's a bit different, yeah. I shouldn't be doing it this way. It's for docking, it's not for, oh. Oh, okay, no, that's cool, that's cool. It's for docking, it's not for, why are you still, oh, that's the steering. That's the steering jets. Oh, that's cool. There's a canisters of food. That's the steering jets. Interesting. What if they're wasting fuel? Probably. I'm wasting fuel by steering. Or is it just an animation? All right. I'm going to risk a look. But you know what? I'll look back and she'll be spinning upside down and spinning rapidly. God damn it. Just leave the zoom where I last left it. Well, she's definitely deorbiting. Yeah, this is the wrong approach, but I just want to show, demonstrate that you can bring a Kerbal down in a control fashion. You know what I mean? It's a lot faster. Are you gonna land for me, Val? Real Kerbals don't need spaceships. And see what happens at 1 kilometer. Yeah, my little rough controller there is you can see the average is going to be around about 50. It's like a thermostat, really. It's exactly like a thermostat. And thermostats do exactly the same behavior. Otherwise, they would rattle. They go tit 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 tit. You don't want rattling because it wears them out. So if you listen to your thermostat clicking in your heater or something, it does exactly the same behavior. It gets too hot, it switches off. You'll hear a click, and then things will cool down for a while, and then you'll hear another click later on, and it will she's starting to spin. It will switch back on again, but there'll be a period of time between switching off and switching on. Actually, you can probably just put in a fixed amount of time. That might be just simpler than messing around with power bands. Just enforce a time, a cool down time. That might be a lot. The logic might be a lot easier. I don't think she's going to do it. You know, she doesn't really spin out of control. Come on, Val. I got faith in you. God damn it. I got faith in you, Val. Please. No. God damn it. It didn't switch off Eva, even though she touched the ground. Now it did. Well, it terminated. Um. Oh, did I forget to bloody? How did I switch that on? Hang on. I don't understand. Did I run the command? I don't know what happened then. Yeah, okay, all right, she's down. She landed. Don't worry about this crap. There's something wrong with it seems that the surface animations oscillate for some bizarre reason. It didn't actually, I don't even know what I was running. Hang on. How did I execute it if it wasn't running? Oh, I don't know. I have to look at my VOD. I don't know what I did then to make it all happen. I'm pretty sure I ran it. I thought I ran it. Let's try that again, as they say, from the top. I'll watch it a bit more carefully this time. I don't know what happened. That's weird. Did the connection fail? Huh. Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? It's the I got to do it twice. That's right. It's because yeah, she starts a new connection. That's right. Bummer. That's boring, isn't it? Sorry about that. You didn't see anything very. Oh, you saw Val. Saw Val do stuff. That was good enough. Um, that was good enough. Yeah. All right. I won't worry about that too much. Yeah. I'll, uh, the I can still steering. Turn 2 and ship velocity surface. Weight 20. I just said weight 20. All right. Not much was being displayed anyway. Print. The Kerbal has landed. I could print something out if I really wanted to, but it would probably be fairly boring. You'd be better off just looking at what Val's doing. Yeah, all right. I won't worry about it right now. One more time, and then I'll wrap up. I'll wrap up. I think anyway. It was rough as guts, but it did actually work, which is surprising. All right, I'll just watch this screen. Oh, look, I can't watch too many screens at the same time. Anyway, I got a rough framework going, and I've proved that you can actually land Val. I didn't have any real doubts. The situation the fuel situation might get a little tight. I did some rough calculations, and it seemed to be feasible. As long as I don't mess about too much wasting fuel like that. Um, yeah, so I think I've got to go Control D and good. There you go. There you go. There you go. There's your thing. Not that it's showing you very much. Yeah, it's the usual thing that she's all nice and controlled until the vectors get small, and then the vectors start to jump around. You can even see the vector here on the screen, the nav board. It'll start to dance around. It's because it's no longer sort of pointing strongly in just one direction. It's starting to get a bit weak, and it's starting to point. It means any tiny sideways motion will cause it to point in that direction, and that tends to be a little bit random, so it ends up being all over the place. Some code just says once the speed is down to a certain value, just don't do it anymore because it's not reliable enough. Usually it's about 1 meter a second, but I've made it about 5. So but I keep dropping it down, don't I? I keep dropping it down myself. That's I've done this. I've done this. I think I can fix it because I know what the problem is now. I've done this myself. It should be. I should keep the descent speed because it goes to 0. I should keep the descent speed to within a certain tolerance. I'm just gonna make it 5, just like that. So it'll always be 5. Um, so it will always be around about 5 meters a second. Yeah, we'll give this a try. So I did that. I did that myself. So I'm going to have to revert, unfortunately, yet again. All right, one more time and that's it. I'll wrap up. It's working out all right. It's not too bad, actually. I've got some homework to do, clearly. That's all right. I'm used to doing homework. I work on it when I can. Right. And we have another 3-hour live stream I've got to watch. To make sure that I'm not talking total rubbish. Go Val. He's at full throttle at the moment. So I'll start to wrap up now while we're waiting for it to descend to the ground. Ideally what you should be doing is calculating the source side burn timing. Now there is a rough way of doing it. I just don't know if I can apply it. There's no one magical formula that works in all cases. You might think it's time. You might think, well, just calculate how long it's going to take you to get to the surface and use that time and work something out like that. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not the correct way of looking at it. The correct way of looking at it is actually distance, because what you're doing is you're applying an acceleration over a distance, and that's the correct formula to use. Now there is this formula that's called a stopping distance formula, and I've used it in the past, but it implies that you've got a fairly constant, a uniform rate of deacceleration. And I don't know how I may not be able to calculate anything like that for Val, so it's never going to be a proper source side burn. It's going to be more like a hover slam if you believe anything Mr. Musk tells you, or that his PR department hasn't made up for you. Yeah. So yeah. So you can calculate it. It basically tells you the if you're going a certain speed, it tells you the distance where you've got to start deaccelerating at that rate of deacceleration, and it assumes it's constant, which it probably is over short distances, but not over long distances because you're consuming fuel. It doesn't really work at all in an atmosphere because you've got drag. The drag just doesn't behave like that. But on an airless body, it's not a bad approximation. I've used it. So you work out the stopping distance. So you say if at this velocity I got to wait till I'm say 400 meters above the surface, then I've got to slam on the brakes, and it gives me just enough time to slow down to 0 by the time the remaining distance is equal to 0. So that's the definition of a source side burn. Because if something goes wrong, you slam into the ground. Yeah, I don't think I can calculate that because I can't calculate accelerations. I have to fudge them using integration and all that. And honestly, I'm going to use a feedback method. That's just a pity about this shit. Because once it starts, she doesn't stop. Oh, interesting that it happened sort of out of nowhere, didn't it? Um, I think it might be to see. You can see the vectors sort of dancing around in a circle. Um, oh, it's dampening out. It's dampening out. Yeah, it's just a matter of sort of, yeah, and then it starts to go around the other direction. It's something to do with that vector there. It's kind of moving. I reckon it's moving. Yeah. Is it? Oh, damn it! It looks so bad. It looks so bad. No. On that note, I've got 20 more minutes. Where'd all my viewers go? Just suddenly went, bleh. I only had a couple there anyway. Yeah, it's probably everyone's gone off to work. Yeah, 9 a.m. Everyone started working. Oops. Good on you. Working for the man. Yeah, it's, a lot of viewers these days are people commuting. So that's why some of the short formats, the portrait formats are taken off. I can't stand watching bloody stuff in portrait format. Uh, but, I guess you do what you do. If it was made for portrait format, then it's fine. But if it's actually landscape and just take the third out of the middle, well, okay, that's where most of the action is happening, admittedly, and that's why they can get away with it. But I can see what's happening there. People are watching as they commute to work. Well, some people like watching stuff as they're walking walking across the road. Well, Darwin wards are there for a reason. Sorry. Yeah. I got to walking around the city these days. I'm just got to dodge out of people's way who are not even looking where they're going. They're just walking along, looking at a mobile phone, watching a video. It's crazy. I just have to jump out of their way so they don't walk in front of me. I find that very frustrating. I'm just as much entitled to my part of the footpath as they are. To jump out of the way of them because they're careless. What would be causing the oscillation? It's because yeah, it's when the I bet you it's when the velocity vector. No, you'd think that'd be pretty strong, actually. I think that'd be pretty strong. Why would they suddenly start doing weird shit? The it's when it's possibly when ship velocity surface. No, there was that's the reason why I wanted to keep the speed up. One reason I wanted to keep the speed up. Yet there's something wrong. they turn to the vector. Yeah, it's not like the steering manager. It doesn't sort of dampen. It sort of doesn't dampen things down for you. I think when you turn, you kind of, you got inertia. You keep turning. Um, and you'd hope the fact that you've now drifted off the vector that would put the vector would pull you back on again. That's why I've got the weight there to give them a chance to do that, to pull themselves back onto the vector. Let's just make that. We'll try once more, and that's it. That's it. Fine. I promise. I'm stopping. We'll make that half a second cycle, which is getting pretty silly actually. But I'm just I gotta work it out. I gotta work it out. There must either that or just the code's a bit. The mod code's just a bit strange. I mean, it's trying to do something that the game was never intended to do. So I'm not being critical. I don't think I'm being harsh. It's just it was never designed to do this. So there's bound to be a couple of side effects. So I'm not being critical. It's just a reality. Okay. Oh, I've proved that it can be done. We're halfway there. Getting back to the ship's going to be yeah, a ship in orbit 10 kilometers above your head. Now that's going to be interesting. That'll be interesting. Control the speed all the way down. There's our vector there. Yeah, that's the way we're going. Trouble is you can't see the thing. What did I say? I said about 10%, didn't I? Hang on. I didn't make a rookie error here, did I? No, use the surface magnitude. I got a dead zone of about 20% there. That's probably too large. I'll make that a bit smaller. Next time. Oh, I'll do some homework. I'll have this by next episode. I'll have the landing working to my satisfaction. Then we can start working on the ascent. That'll be fun. Val's got to get back up to the ship somehow. I reckon she's got enough delta V to do it though. I did some rough calculations the other day. You don't have to do something stupid like land on top of a mountain or that. I want to do it from sea level. I don't like cheating like that. Oh, you do it when you're doing a challenge. You take every advantage you can get, but you take off from the top of a mountain. But I want to do it from sea level. So I want to do it from the lava lakes or the glass lakes. They're not. It's not ice, by the way. It's supposed to be lava. So the planet's too warm. The moon's too warm for ice. would have sublimated away a long time ago. Yeah, it's about 5 meters a second either way. And the safe stuff will start to kick in at about a kilometre and start to slow down. But you don't, I'm keeping it at a constant speed means you're not constantly accelerating, so you end up with a, just inexplicable, isn't it? So it's random. I bet you the vector has done something strange. Because it turns right around. I wonder if I'm looking at this the wrong way. Oh, at the graphics effect. Nice time for you to start to slow down, Val. Good time for you to start to think about slowing down, don't you think? Slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Don't spin, slow down. Concentrate on slowing down. Concentrate, Val. Val! Well, if you weren't mucking around, you might have landed correctly. Well, all right. Yeah, it probably needs to be less than 5 meters a second. Oh, and then we go into moonwalk mode because there's something weird about it doesn't stop. What happens is it's not stopping. I've tried it. I've tried it. Did my program terminate after all that? Terminate. The Kerbal has landed, but it hasn't terminated. Well, that's intriguing. It hasn't terminated? Should have. She's just still doing her dance. Interesting, isn't it? It hasn't terminated. It should have. Well, that's weird. What happens if I terminate it? Oh, there's no control there whatsoever. The control's gone. Interesting. Yeah, they're no. It has terminated. It just didn't come back with it didn't say program had finished or whatever. Which is a bit curious. It did terminate. It did terminate. All right. And she does this little thing which you can stop. So if you say add-ons EVA move, stop. It may or may not work. No, it didn't work, did it? So, but if you go do something strange like turn right 0, yeah, she stops. So yeah, it the move function which keeps them moving. It's a loop. Clearly, it's some sort of loop. If you start them moving, and they keep moving, it must be a loop of some sort. So it goes crazy. I'll move forward. It goes crazy. I'm gonna have to experiment a little bit more with it. Yeah, that's not too bad, but it goes nuts sometimes. It goes nuts. Should just run around forever. Well, I used up about half my fuel deorbiting. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, there are some extra tanks, but they don't. I haven't unlocked them yet in the tech tree, but they give you a bit more, but not a huge amount. There's the tanks there, fuel. So this at the moment, this. Oh, other than that, other than I haven't put the thingo away. Yeah, something freaks the move animation out. This is quite well behaved, I think. If I do stop, yeah, which is what I want to see. Command's working, but you start to moonwalk around and buzz and stuff. It means there's something sort of stuck in a loop somewhere. It's just no longer responding. All right, I'm pretty pleased with that. That could have been a total disaster. I think you can see where I'm going. I think it's just a fun thing to do. I will do a proper lander. She can collect some science. Take a sample and do that golf ball thing. EV and an EVA report as well. Yeah, she can collect some science, but she has to get back up to the ship. So I've got to have to do I've got to do a launch to orbit that works with a Kerbal. That might be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, I decided to just do it this fun way. If I get this working, and then I'll just do it. It means I'll be able to unlock a few extra bits and pieces in the tech tree, and I don't know where the SES comes on. It's nothing to do with me. Yeah, it worked that time. And then build a traditional craft. All right, that's 3 hours. I'll catch you. It's a random animations they do. I'll catch you next stream. Belle's a very naughty girl.